bit, as opposed to, it actually kind of looks like the Master Sword too. So we try to change that up, hence the breastplate. Now the choice for that episode was not to make one of her crazy outfits. First of all, crazy outfits take a long time. Second, most of her advanced outfits, Urza, Fairy Tail, doesn't really represent armor part. It's more of a cosplay, bikini type thing, right? And I have nothing against showing off cosplay bikini stuff, but it does not show my skills. So why have me make a bikini where I know a whole bunch of seamstresses and tailors who can make that better than I do?
Let me interject real quick. It has nothing to do with bikinis, I promise. Just to let you guys know on little things that don't ever translate, never come to you guys. We were just supposed to make Urza's sword for that. Ilya put in his own time making that breastplate. He pre-made some of the pieces. He made some on camera. After we wrapped, after a 12-hour day of filming, he would wrap. I would go up and do voiceovers. He would stay another 4 hours working on that breastplate because that's something he cared about, and he knew how important it was to have some of the armor work along with the sword for that kind of episode. And that's just one example of the things, we all do, but he puts a lot of that into it. So, for instance, like when the producer showed up and we told him, we just surprised him, hey, we're also making a breastplate. That's just because we love doing this. It's not just a job for us, it's something he cared about. So you really got to give him and everybody on the staff props. If you see a little side build on something like the Master Sword when we made the shield, I made that on my own time, stuff like that. We're doing it because we want it to be the best episode and make the fans of that genre as happy as possible. Okay, go ahead. Bikinis, go ahead.
Thank you. Now, that particular breastplate out of the ones she wears is actually the closest analog to historical German Gothic breastplates, and I know that thing will work. Some of the crazy armors doesn't really work well in general, so we're not sure about the demo, but that one is guaranteed to work. It's guaranteed to be very well on whoever wears it, so long as the size fits, because metal is not a costume, it doesn't have stretch. So once you put it on, that's the size you are. There's no McDonald's warranty when I make armor. So armor takes a long time to make, and some of my customers order a suit, send me the cast of their body. So you wrap yourself up, make a body cast. Then when they receive the armor, it's after Thanksgiving, they've been partying with their family is big, they have 20 people in there, and then they also broke a foot, so they're on the couch partying, and whoop-de-doo, they gained 10 pounds, the armor doesn't fit. That is not my problem. So, that's the problem with armor. Once you have the size, that's the size. If something doesn't fit, you have to make a new. So, but that piece works, it's amazing. Why? Because it's based on historical analog, which is the second part of choosing a build. Whenever there is the closest historical analog to the item, we guide the building of the item towards that historical analog. The reason for that being, that is the best way to make it work. Making it work is the whole point of Man at Arms as a show, because it's taking something that is crazy or ostensibly crazy and making it real. And making it real means working with what reality has to offer. Swords that are made for Witcher, it's a no-go making a sword made out of silver. No-go, does not work. Silver is soft, is as soft as copper. Fine silver is even softer. Silver swords don't exist, can't be done. Silver plating on swords can be done, and there are historical analogs. King Henry's armor was silver plated. So that's the best thing you can do compared to a silver sword. Now, the third part is having fun. Even when you're frustrated, when you're making an item, even when it's hot as never mind, not an 18-and-up panel. Even when it's really hot in the shop, when the furnace is going 110 degrees, the heat index outside, when you know, without the forges. We try to have fun, we try to troll each other all the time. Sometimes it gets caught on camera, and sometimes it doesn't. Because dangerous work, when you're angry, becomes more dangerous. So we try to pick builds which we will also enjoy making. That way it will transfer well on camera. We try to pick builds that we can have as much fun with each other making as possible. Otherwise, you know, we're there for a little over a week making 6 items. It's hot. Power hammers can kill you. Literally every single item in the shop tries to kill you unless you know how to operate it. And even then, the problem is when you get a little bit too comfortable with an item, that's when it bites you again. So every single one of us have been cut by a belt one way or another, or let's say something flew from the power hammer, the molten borax,
chip off a
in
hammer,
the stomach, so on and so forth. So you have to be very careful. So you cannot have too much fun, but you cannot be angry and exhausted working. So now I'll take a brief pause, but I'll come back talking. And Matt has prepared a short expose on the bikinis found in South Baltimore.
No, I did not. Jeez Louise.
I don't know how to follow that. And this is what I work with every day.
Oh boy. Okay. Very nice.
Every day.
Okay. Yes. Ilya, when he's upset, pretty much shuts down. When he's really happy, you can't really live with him because he throws stuff at you. He's talking about the tools in the
I
shop.
found those sticky things that grow on the big leaves, and they just stick to you. Those,
Yeah.
they're
He's
awesome.
all day, every day. I got home to play freaking Overwatch the other day, and I put my headset on, and there's one of those sticky things in the headset. So I don't even know how he did that. I don't even know where that came from exactly. By the way, like some people question whether we're nerds, geeks, gamers, whatever. We are. I run one of the oldest first-person shooter gaming clans out there called the Cybertron Army, CYBA. My boy Chris is in it, Bill's in it. We don't really do, I mean, it's not very big. We've been as big as like 100 plus people in it. Right now it's small, but we're playing Overwatch, Rocket League. What else do we play? Counter-Strike Go all day, League of Legends, stuff like that. But we are legit. You guys can look it up. My gamer tag is Stalkertron. You guys are free to add me on Steam. I play with people or whatever you want. I don't care. I don't hide. I'm not pro or anything like that, but I have a good time. Anyway, anybody see the Trunk Sword episode that just came out last week? A couple, almost 1 million of you have seen it. Oh yeah, it's over 1 million today. We hit over 1 million in 5 days. That's pretty impressive. That's a sign of a good episode for sure. Like Ilya said, we really tried to show some pretty cool historical techniques. Is this doing it? Does this really have power? I don't know. But we had a couple fun gags in there, if you saw that, and little fun things in the demo, or the little finger block thing we did, and then the sand thing I did. But we tried to show a lot of different things, and this is a really neat piece because this is kind of like a basic one-handed broadsword, right? Well, it's got a lot of different. Huh? Talk louder. Talk louder. Hi guys, is this better? Anyway. It's a basic Western sword, except it's obviously been drawn by somebody from Japan, or at least somebody who's very familiar with Japanese swords. It has a habaki. The way the point is, it's not very realistic. If you actually come by the booth at any point in time, we're in the dealer's room, you can see this stuff up close, no problem. Talk to us, we're there all weekend. You'll see that when you make a point like this, it's almost impossible to actually make it sharp at the point. Yes, it will stab, and yes, it's sharp here, but it's not really sharp up here. So there's some design things that we have to,
You actually find that a lot in anime when people in Japan animate Western swords. They basically make a Japanese
Basically
sword
bake.
to look. They basically make a Japanese sword that looks from afar like a Western sword. Excalibur from Fate Stay Night is the same exact way. Has a habaki, the way the fittings are set up, the way it goes together is basically a Japanese sword. It's a ken. That's what it is, which is a generic term for sword, but that's not how Western swords work. In fact, it is to the detriment of making a Western sword the way you assemble a Japanese sword because you use them slightly differently. And it's actually, meet me at the booth, it's a engineering issue with swords, so.
It's an issue, but it's kind of another aspect that we don't always think about. Is like that's one of the things that keeps what we do fun. Hey, yeah, that's just a sword. Let's just make it. And when we start looking at it, oh, but it's got this and it's got that, so it keeps it interesting, keeps it challenging, and we do love a good challenge. Don't get me wrong. I do complain a lot about having to grind the giant swords that you guys won't stop requesting, and then you complain about the demos not being great, and it's great. It's like cool, you know, I can't really lift this, but you want me to do a legit demo with it. So that's why we hired Bill and other people and our buddy out there, always over there. Yeah, he's a gym rat, so we got him, and now we got his other gym rat friends coming out. You'll see, we got some pretty freaking wild episodes coming up. This season I don't know why we do this every time we sign up to do a convention. It's 2 days after we wrap a crazy intense filming session. So just on Tuesday, we wrapped our most latest season. That you won't see any of those videos for probably about a month and a half, but we did some really cool stuff, some big stuff, some small stuff, another great historical build. We can't really say what that is yet, but
It is basically the most requested.
it's the most requested historical build. So if you go through the comments, it's pretty obvious. Are you kissing me, baby? Hi. Hi. It's my kid. I'm not hitting on anybody. Oh boy. But yeah, so we just wrapped that on Tuesday. I took a day off Wednesday. I don't think these two guys took a day off, but I was just beat. Those demos, we filmed those demos. We have, our last day is just a crazy crunch of finishing weapons to get them ready for their beauty shots. Each beauty shot takes about a half an hour where they do those slow pans, and lately they've been quick pans, so we'll try to get them to slow those down so you can see the weapons a little more. But right after that, we eat lunch. They usually order us pizza, which is a really great thing before you have to go out and perform. And then we do demos, and we smash stuff, and we slice stuff, and we do all that. And then, you know, the next day my body's really upset.
Oh, speaking of the demos, for the cosplayers, we select cosplayers for regular people that pass by our booth at a convention. They're like, regular, we can select that guy over there, her over there, something like that.
How many people here have been on Man at Arms? Is there any cosplayers hiding out there that have been there? You can raise your hand. You've been on there like 5 times, bro.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, okay.
Now,
usually we invite a couple of
regular
them.
people. So when, you know, someone says something inappropriate about a cosplayer, just know they're regular guys. We don't hire professional cosplayers. Number one, we don't have the budget for it. Number two, I don't care about professional cosplayers much. They're professionals, they're models. I care about bringing in the fan base